Good afternoon. My talk is going to be about diacylglycerol kinases and its regulation by SAP and WASP. Most probably, it's going to be an extension talk from our previous presenter, Professor Andy Snow. And so far, we see things from clinical point of view, and I would like to show something from biochemical point of view as well. As mentioned before by Professor Snow, SAP is a down modulator of DGK alpha, which is an enzyme that converts DAG to phosphatidic acid. And accumulation of, because of this consequence, there is accumulation of DAG inside the cell, which results in activation of pro-apoptotic molecules and results in normal restimulated induced cell death. Furthermore, we also demonstrated that targeting DGK alpha either by silencing or pharmacological inhibition, we are able to rescue these defects. But what exactly are these DGKs? They are a family of enzymes that convert diacylglycerol to phosphatidic acid. Both DAG and phosphatidic acid are secondary messengers that involve in various cellular processes. And these DGKs are subdivided into 5 types and 10 isoforms, among which alpha is the most studied and well characterized. However, regulation of DAG phosphatidic acid homeostasis inside the cell is really important, as upregulation and downregulation of TGKs may result in several human diseases. Especially upregulation of TGKs may result in enhancing several oncological functions and hyperresponsive T cells in XLP patients. However, pharmacological targeting of DGKs is started to be quite challenging due to lack of its crystal structure. Till date, a very few DGK inhibitors are available. The top 2 are the 2 commercial available DGK inhibitors that were available since the past 50 years. But because of their poor pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic properties, they never enter into clinical trials. Very recently, ritanstrin was published as DGK inhibitor, but as it is a very strong serotonin antagonist, its utility is still limited. Conversely, a Japanese group demonstrated CU3 as the most active DGK inhibitor, but still presence of fluorine moieties inside its structure make it as an undruggable compound. For all these defects, there is a real need in identifying DGK alpha inhibitors that are highly specific and active to be used for clinical trials. For this purpose, we used an in vitro screening using PubChem and Zinc database online that are available online. We use the chemical structures of 2 known inhibitors and use several filters to eliminate overreactive molecules from our screen. And based upon the 2D and 3D structures of these 2 known inhibitors, we finally are able to select 150 compounds and screen for their ability to inhibit DGK alpha in DGK alpha overexpressed cell homogenates. And during our primary screen, we are able to obtain ritanstrin and AMP as the most active molecules when compared to our 2 templates. As ritanstrin was already published, we decided to characterize uncharacterized molecule AMP. Thus, we started to buy analogs of AMP, and conversely, we started to synthesize molecules that are very structurally similar to AMP. And all this screening finally resulted in 7 new compounds, which are highly active and specific to DGK. To assess their inhibitor potency, we decided to calculate the IC50 values of these molecules, and we use similar assay conditions, but different concentrations ranging from 0.1 to 100 micromolar. Fascinatingly, all the novel DGK inhibitors are able to inhibit DGK alpha with very high potency when compared to our templates. Conversely, we question ourselves whether these inhibitors are specific to alpha isoform or they have any other effects on other isoforms. For this, we decided to go with DGK zeta, which is another abundantly expressed isoform, DGK isoform in T cells, and theta that is very far. Fascinatingly, we realized that DGK alpha, all these molecules are highly specific towards DGK alpha, and they have no significant effect on DGK zeta or theta. Conversely, as all the non-DGK inhibitors perform serotonin receptor antagonistic effect, we question ourselves whether these molecules also perform serotonin antagonism activity. So we used human monocytes and used PMI-induced oxide to burst as a readout to evaluate the serotonin activity. Fascinatingly, we realized that all our molecules are not able to affect any serotonin activity, suggesting that all these molecules are highly specific towards alpha isoform with no serotonin antagonistic effect. Conversely, as mentioned before, we want to check the efficiency of these molecules in the context of RACD. For this purpose, we modeled XLP patients by silencing SAP gene from lymphocytes obtained from the normal healthy donor. As expected, upon restimulation, the SAP silencer cells die less and they were somehow rescued by the presence of TGK inhibitor. This suggests the utility of TGK inhibitors in XLP patients. Unfortunately, for the time being, we don't have access to patient lymphocytes to access the activity of our molecules on patient lymphocytes. Conversely, as mentioned before by Professor Snow, we want to check whether the RACD rescue is obtained through the rescue of pro-apoptotic molecules, NUR and NOR. For this, we again use SAP silencer cells, and as expected, both NUR and NOR expressions were abolished upon SAP silencing and somehow rescued by DGK inhibitors, suggesting that these DGK inhibitors are restoring the RACD defects through the induction of pro-apoptotic molecules like NUR and NOR. In summary of my part one, in XLP patients where SAP is absent, SLAM family receptors recruit SHIP1, and by targeting DGKs, we are able to reaccumulate the DAG inside the cell, resulting in normal TCR signaling and RACD. Conversely, so far, I believe that I make you convinced DGK alpha is a pro-survival factor. And upon TCR stimulation, SAP inhibits DGK alpha, thereby leading to RACD. However, the molecular mechanism involved in SAP-mediated DGK alpha inhibition and RACD is still unclear. For this purpose, we wanted to explore the SAP interactor molecules on its and their effect on RACD and DGK alpha. At first, our former PhD student performed an siRNA screening using all the SAP interactor molecules, especially WASP, as there were reports says that WASP deficient mice lymphocytes perform defective RACDs. And she made an siRNA screening to assess the role of the SAP interactors in terms of RACD. And she demonstrated that all the SAP interactors are able to play their role in regulating RACD. We question ourselves whether this RACD regulation through the SAP interactors are mediated by DGK inhibition. For this purpose, at first, we started to co-transfer both WASP and DGK on 293 T cells, and using the homogeneity of the cells, we assess the activity of DGK. Fascinatingly, we observed that the DGK activity is lower when we co-express WASP and DGK together. To further evaluate this observation, we perform Western blotting analysis and look for the expression of DGK alpha. Interestingly, the DGK alpha protein expression levels in the co-transfection conditions remain stable, suggesting that WASP is inhibiting the activity of DGK alpha without affecting its expression. To further understand this observation, we purify WASP through immunoprecipitation and co-incubated with DGK alpha. Unfortunately, we find no difference with the purified WASP on DGK activity, suggesting that WASP is affecting DGK inhibition through an indirect way, maybe some post-translational modifications. However, to evaluate the WASP deficiency, to evaluate the effect of WASP on DGK inhibition, we established Jurkat cell line with WASP silenced. And we treat them with, upon TCR stimulation, we check the activity of DGK alpha in those WASP silenced Jurkat cell lines. As expected, both in Jurkat wild type and empty vector transfections, the activity of DGK goes lower, whereas in WASP deficient conditions, the activity remains higher, suggesting that WASP is required to inhibit DGK here. However, I must admit that this is very preliminary data and with a very high standard deviation. Experiments are going on to further evaluate this analysis. Even in this case, we don't have any difference in overall expression of DGK alpha, neither in phosphorylation of PERK. However, to evaluate the effect of WASP in terms of RACD, we use the WASP silenced Jurkat cells and stimulate them with PHA. As expected, WASP silenced Jurkat cells showed some defective RACD, which were somehow rescued by using DGK inhibitors. And similar observations were observed by our previous PhD student, where upon silencing WASP in PBMCs, they die less, suggesting they have an involvement in RACD. And it was somehow rescued by silencing DGK alpha inside the WASP deficient cells, indicating that WASP plays a key role in RACD, and DGK inhibition may rescue the WASP deficient defects. Conversely, to evaluate the effect of actin polymerization in terms of DGK alpha and RACD, we treat the PBLs using ARP23 inhibitor, and we observe that upon ARP23 inhibition, there is a reduction in RACD, and this reduction was somehow rescued by using DGK inhibitors again, suggesting that ARP23 is regulating RACD, and these defects will be rescued by DGK inhibition. To further understand the effect of ARP23 on DGK inhibition, we inhibited ARP23 in Jurkat cells and re-stimulate them with TCR and check for their DGK activity inside that. And unfortunately, we realized that ARP23 has a very mild effect on DGK inhibition in these conditions. Neither it has any effects on ERK phosphorylation either, suggesting that it's not involved in DAG signaling pathway as well. To conclude, we have some preliminary evidences saying that WASP down modulates DGK alpha, thereby rescuing the RACD. And conversely, ARP23 is able to play its role on RACD without the involvement of DGK. But by targeting DGK in ARP23 inhibited cells, we are able to rescue the RACD. However, further experiments are certainly needed to further confirm these observations. I would like to thank my group and our collaborators, especially Professor Grazzani, Elisa Rufo, and Andy Snow. Thanks for our financial supporters, Telethon and Regione Piemonte. Thank you, David, for giving me the opportunity to share my work. Thank you.
My friend.
Thank you, Suresh. That was excellent. Thank you. I can't see any questions on the Q&A. Are there any questions for Dr. Suresh?
David, if I may ask one.
Sure.
Suresh, that was a lovely talk. Thank you. Obviously, the burning question would be, so the WASP data is really interesting, and I'm wondering if you've tried to look for a direct protein-protein interaction between WASP and DGK alpha and whether, in fact, that's dependent on SAP in some way. I know there's difficult experiments. But.
Well, we tried with purified WASP and co-incubate with the DGK. There we realized that there is no effect of WASP directly on DGK. But still I can say it's like very preliminary data. So I cannot confirm this observation, but very soon we are going to perform better experiments to confirm this observation. We should look for a direct interaction. It's something we have to look. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
You can answer the question. Sorry?
Oh, can hear something in the background there.
Suresh, you can answer the question on the inhibitors. We stopped with the in vitro characterization. We never went in vivo. Yes, we are planning to go for in vivo characterization of inhibitors, but presently we don't have the facilities to go on further. We don't have SAP deficient mice to check for in vivo data with the new inhibitors.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, David, may I ask you, may I actually provide a partial answer to Andy's question?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, about the protein-in-protein interaction. Well, all that story on WASP basically was based on earlier evidence that SAP may interacts with NCK. And NCK through CDC42 and WASP actually it belongs to the complex that then leads to the activation of WASP and to the activation of ARP23. So the idea there is that the SAP connection may be related to the interaction between SAP and NCK. However, we never really did any. We don't have any evidence of that there is an interaction between SAP and the whole complex.
Yeah,
NCK SAP is an old PNS paper.
I recall that paper, Andre. Thanks. And from what I understand, it has been somewhat difficult to replicate. We've tried a couple of things, but yeah, I think it's a tricky or very labile complex or something.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Andre. Any other questions, ladies and gents? In which case, if not, you have the first of the two breaks. So please do stretch